This is the 2017 Volkswagen Golf Alltrack TSI SEL with 4Motion, and it comes in at $33,710. Now I clearly have DSG in here, and it is a wagon, and it is a higher ride height than normal. And on the road, it feels like a Volkswagen, but it actually has the capability to go off-road. And I think we're going to do a little bit of that as soon as I get back to the ranch. Overall, this thing feels sporty. I recently drove the Jetta GLI SEL from Austin to Dallas, and then subsequently that turned into a Golf GTIS, which I then drove back to Austin. And now here I am in Austin in a Volkswagen, what is this thing called again? Volkswagen Golf Alltrack TSI SEL with 4Motion. That's a mouthful. And now it's supposed to average 30 on the highway and 22 in the city, combined 25. I would like to have this for a week to see, but then again, it's a wagon. And today we're driving a bunch of SUVs and trucks, and while this was outstanding in a field, I don't think it is outstanding in its field, but it was just outstanding in a field, and I decided, hey, I'm going to give it a drive. And, well, what is there to say? It's just what you'd expect. It's a Golf, it's a Volkswagen, and it handles like you expect. Now, being an Alltrack, it means you get away with all-wheel drive, so it's basically like a wagon Golf R, but without the power, which I think is kind of cool, because, as you know, I did not like the GTI, based on the fact that it was front-wheel drive. It could never hook its power down, and of course that had 210 horsepower and 252 pound-feet of torque, and this has a much smaller engine. This is a 1.8 liter engine, and I don't know how much power it produces. How useful am I? It has a great panoramic sunroof. However, I really don't like them. It's a large panoramic sunroof, and it brings in a lot of sunlight. I'm not a fan of that, though. So I'm going to close it. Wagon makes sense if you don't like the ride height of an SUV. You don't want to be up high and be prone to more of this rocking effect in curvy roads or windy days with side winds, crosswinds. You know, a wagon is low down to the ground, although this one is actually raised off the ground. It's kind of in between a low riding wagon and your typical SUV. So this would be a good car for people who have kids who get car sick, or for people themselves who don't like being up high and being tossed around a lot from side to side. Let's take this off-road though. I want to see what this can do on a trail. Now, the brilliant part about the SEL trims is that they actually have a fender stereo, and a fender stereo is really the best way to go with a Volkswagen model trim, because a fender stereo is an upgraded stereo, and upgraded stereos never really go out of style. You have maybe a nav system or an infotainment system that will be dated in a couple of years because something newer, some more interesting technology will come out. But one thing that can never be out technoed is a good rockin' kick-ass stereo. So keep that in mind when you're looking for a car. In my opinion, always upgrade the stereo before you do anything else, because that's your main level of enjoyment. I'm doing this trail for the first time in the Golf, and it actually rides a lot smoother than some of the off-road vehicles I've driven here. It seems to have this long wheelbase, which allows it to absorb a lot of the impact on the washboard here. That's actually a good thing. And the ride quality in this one with the raised suspension, makes a lot of sense. And I mean sport mode. What if I went to off-road mode? Look at this. You have off-road, you just hit the mode button, and now there's an off-road profile you can have in this car. So that's awesome too. And as you see, I have the ability to limit my speed, and I have off-road terrain selected here. And so now I'm on this gritty, rutty road with all these rocks, and I'm just going right through it. Look at that. It actually has auto downhill braking. That's interesting. Feels pretty good. It drives quite well on-road and off-road. It's not a hardcore off-roader, it's not a hardcore anything, but it's just a random product from Volkswagen that fills some sort of niche. It's pretty good, actually. Thanks for watching.